Okay, so here's how it works. We have a farmer, somebody who does the wet mill, somebody who does the dry mill, and then it has to be exported, then gets on a container ship and goes overseas to then sit in a warehouse connected to a broker who sells it to a roaster. And then it goes out from there to the final customer. It was probably about 20 years ago that things began to change around where do we get our coffee from. And it was a desire by a few coffee companies who were roasting and had cafes and wanted to go back and have a direct trade relationship. There's a guy who came and talked to me here. He saw what we were doing and was interested in it. And he said, hey, I've been going to Guatemala for years. I have all these people that I know. They're coffee farmers. I then traveled with him. I met the coffee people that he knew. I visited a bunch of farms. We went all over. It's just really eye-opening. And to be able to have like a direct connection to where it comes from and be able to bring that back here and roast it and hand it off to a customer, that coffee just felt truer to me. It felt especially true, and it felt especially real. Coffee brokers do offer like origin trips for roasters, and they're kind of doing like the typical, let's explain to you how coffee is grown and how it's processed and how it's milled and then finally prepared for export. You don't have to understand any of that to be a coffee roaster, much less somebody who drinks coffee. I look at brokers and importers as people who are so crucial and so essential to this, where I think the direct trade movement that began 20 years ago sort of painted a bad light on brokers, like they're the bad guys in the situation. Get rid of those guys and just do direct trade. But there's nothing that's more ethical about direct trade. You can have very abusive direct trade relationships, and you can have brokers who are upholding the values that you really care about. So there's no rules about direct trade means that it's ethical. That doesn't mean it's ethical, and it doesn't mean that buying from a broker is not ethical. And after like doing the work in these origins and bringing in coffee on my own, all it led me to realize was this is a huge job and a huge task, and is somebody's job in and of itself. There are people who are amazing at importing and being a broker, and I realized I didn't have to do it by myself. It isn't like, oh, I need to be the one who's going out and finding farmers who like feel the same way that I do and create this whole thing myself. I realized there's already people who care about this stuff, who are doing the work, and what I need to do is go find excellent partners. I need to find people who are working in Kenya, who are collecting coffee from different farms, and that individual who's doing that cares deeply about their community and cares deeply about their people and cares deeply about their land and their culture, and is trying to bring their coffee to somebody who does care. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll be that guy because I really care about my community. I really care about where it comes from. And so I've really shifted my work from, I still do go to origin, and I would really love to work directly with a farm or two or whatever. Like that would be really great to continue that. But I think I'm more interested in relationally getting to know where it comes from and the people who are there, and empowering the people who are already doing that work, who already feel the same way that I do, and we can see eye to eye and choose to work together.